Hey, I'm Mr. Carl, and welcome to some more Formula Xbox Season 3 Tier 1. It is back and we are Albert Park, Melbourne, Australia for the first round and a wet qualifying, as you can see as I hop into my Ferrari for the first time this season. Got a new teammate, Chicken Macaroon, alongside me. He was very fast in the Sauber, and I think Williams in the first season he was in. So he's very fast in that, very fast driver. I expect to be the Felipe Massa to Fernando Alonso. Unfortunately, that didn't happen in this first round, as you will see my qualifying that. Nice, neat, tidy lap, but I can go a bit fast. I was fast on the first sector on the next lap as well, but I didn't fuel up, and so yeah, I had to pit at the end of that next lap. But as you can see, wet conditions, and I'm not really a fan of the wet conditions in F1 2013. They're too similar to the dry conditions. You have to really push to get the car go fast in the wet conditions. You know, you have to do the usual, braking slightly earlier and, you know, getting quite gentle on the power. But yeah, there's not too much difference in the driving style from dry to wet, and I'm really struggling with that, as you will see on this lap. And you know, this lap he was a perfectly good lap, but just too slow, and I can go a bit faster. I was a bit more ragged, and that's what I was like. I was going all over the curves, doing what I normally do in the dry, and it works in the wet. And yeah, that's a bit of a bug point, bit of a minor bug point with this game, and there are lots of bug points with this game, especially when we have the very unequal cars here at this point in time. They've patched it, and it seems to have made some of the online features even worse somehow. But yeah, qualifying at the end of the lap, we didn't have a bad qualifying actually, just not really that happy with the lap. I could have gone much better. I was just making too many mistakes around Australia. I really did struggle with this track early on, and I still struggle with this track as well later in this game cycle. But as you can see, my teammate got 5th in the end as I dropped down to 7th. That was about halfway through the session. But look at that, Marussia 1 and 2 at the front, if I can see correctly there. But we got Legion in front of me, we got Drastic Midget behind me, my foe for most of Season 2, but continuing Season 3. We'll always find out after these lights have gone out, and we got a nice start in the Ferrari. We got some proximity arrows, the only time I've used them this season, as I do find them pointless, for me at least. But as you can see, we're going around the outside of this corner, and we've got to give way to the Red Bull, and now that allows the Mercedes around the beats to go around my outside, going 3 wide for the first time down this straight. We're going 3 wide again. Here we go, IS2, and I think that stopped Matt on the outside. McLaren gets past, but IS2 got hit, and on his screen he got pushed into the gravel, and yeah, there was major lag issues for IS2, unfortunately, and he disconnected at the end of that. But as you can see, Drastic Major went wide, had to lift for him through the fast right. Now Hybe's having a look down my inside, but I just outbraved myself at the end of the first sector here and give a little touch to Drastic Midget. But as you can see, that's cost Hybe some time, as he had to check up on all the smoke screen that happens when you go off track now in this game. But as you can see, Legion's also had a poor start and is just ahead of me. But look at that, all that dust in your face. It's nice effects, but it's annoying for the driver behind. But as you can see, I always got curves in my pack pocket for this front straight, and unfortunately there goes IS2, I'm out of the building. But as you can see, we go down the inside of the Legion, maybe have a look a bit down the inside of Hybe, not quite, but we do go wide, and I can't see where I'm going. So here goes the Legion back past, and I'm down to last, 13th out of the 13 drivers remaining. And there's a bit of a battle going on in this middle pack. It was very fun, as unfortunately Invisible McLaren or Cartman was on the outside of that previous corner. As you can see, Legion went wide, almost copied him, too much curve there in the back and getting a bit frisky on me, but we managed to keep it together as we go later into this middle sector now, and Legion goes wide, and then we got a nice run on the outside, got a little curves as well going on, but I think Legion's got some curves going on my inside as well, and so we have to concede the position in that far chicane, having a bit of reminiscence about last season as well. We had a nice battle with the Legion in this opening race, but this season we're just sticking behind him as he's on the option tyres. I'm on the primes. Unfortunately, saw my teammate had a bit of a spin out that far chicane as well. We had a little look down his inside that fast right. Poor mistake there. We should have really just stayed behind. But as you can see, now onto the next lap, we're going into turn 3, and look at this battle between Random Beats and Hamilton Fan in front. And Random Beats doing everything to block. Hamilton Fan getting a bit impatient, and he seems to take it out a bit on Legion unfortunately got a bit of the raw end of the deal here, but as you can see, he goes wide, and now Legion's having to, brake because he's right in front of him, and I have to brake as well, and yeah, that just a bit annoying, that is. But later into this middle section, you see Legion again having a bit of fracas with Hamilton fan, and we take advantage going down his inside and going into the last sector now. And I think Legion, he did a 2-stop, if I remember watching his video correctly, and so he was pitting at the end of this lap, and we managed to make a mistake but keep it in front of him, but he was pitting anyway. And I think most people did a 2-stop or one. Well, I think I did a 1-stop. I think most people did a 2-stop. I can't actually remember, but as you can see, the Marussia of Goddard has rejoined in front of us on lap at the beginning of lap 6, and he's the leader, I think, and he's on cold tyres. We're going to take a look round his outside. Unfortunately, we locked up that brake, made us go wide, and now Goddard is rejoined in front. We get into a Marussia sandwich as his teammate Simoncelli also pitted on the next lap, and at the end of lap 7, we're just really struggling with the tyres. We're really trying to protect them, trying to go into lap 9 and then go on the options, but huge tank slapper in that last corner. And see Simoncelli's pass, and Random Beats was already having a meeting with the wall. We could have joined him in that committee meeting. But onto lap 8, and look at this, locking up the brakes, really struggling with the tyres. We had to pit at the end of this lap, as not quite a huge tank slapper was going on there through the middle of turn 4, but we do pit at the end of the lap. I was saying, unfortunately for Marussia, Goddard's disconnected as well from, I think it was in the lead, and bit of a problem with disconnections in this game. But as you can see, trying to change things in the braking zone, don't do that. Look at that, trying to get it up to Rich for me, because I totally go wide, do it on the straight after. Stupid Kevin. But as you go into the pit lane now, get it down to the lane, get out option tyres chosen, Drastic Devil in front who had pitted, Hamilton fan behind who had pitted. So let's see if we can join in front of the Force India. Here we are in 5th place, doing quite well in this race in the Ferrari, even though it cost us a lot of time staying out there on those worn prime tyres. But Hamilton fans in front. I was in that stop mat as well, and we've got Cartman coming in his Force India, speeding down this front straight, and we're slow on these cold option tyres. I'm still rubbish at getting up the speed on these tyres. It still takes me a couple of laps to get back into the rhythm, back into the groove, and Cartman was taking a look at me into turn 3, and I kind of left the door open a bit here. He dived down, outbraked himself unfortunately, and we touched side pod to wheel, and it was just a glitch spin unfortunately. But as you can see, I was stupid here. I should have just let the car roll back and gone into first, and I would join quickly like Cartman did, but unfortunately I had to go through the gravel, rejoin behind Legion and Random Beats, that is, and unfortunately my teammate as well. And look at this for Ferrari, 10th and 11th. Shocking for the Mano team in this opening round of Formula Xbox Tier 1. But normally Chicken Macaroon's fast for me. Unfortunately, he wasn't this time, as I was on the newer tyres and he went wide. We had the wheel to the side pod glitch. I did a nice 360 for the crowd there, but it wasn't good for us, as it lost us time to Legion and Random Beats in front, who we were both catching. And so this cost us about 10 seconds in total, I think. And I think Chicken Macaroon just pitted after that and decided to just go fast for the last few laps. And yeah, point for Ferrari, point for me in the opening race. That was a bit poor race for us, as I was catching around the Beats and Legion at the end of the stint. I just ran out of time, was a bit too inconsistent my lap times as well, and I think I was really saving the option tyres on this last lap. They really did go off, and that's the really problem I'm having with the tyres here in this game. Really behind, pushing and then saving. It's a fine balance in that, and I'm still hanging onto the wire with my fingertips even, not fingertails, that's weird. So as you can see, it was a Marussia win, and look at that, Sauber up in 2nd and McLaren up in 3rd, so well done to them. And look at that, 8th or 9th, I can't remember if all those penalties went, but yeah, not good for Ferrari. Can we do better in Malaysia? Well, it's not fortune, so till then, cheerio.